What is going on, international subscribers? Welcome back to Radioactive Curry, where we watch Indian movies and rate and talk about them. Today's movie is KAITHI, 2019 film. Let's see, it's translated means prisoner. So it's in Indian Tamil language, so this is the Tollywood movie. Convict tries to meet his daughter for the first time after leaving prison, but his attempts are interrupted by a drug raid. Directed by Lokesh, Kanagaraj. Haha, I got it. Starring KAITHI, Arjun Das, Black Sheep Deepthi, Narayan, Monica, and Harish Uttaman. Well, there's a lot of single name people. They're like the Sinbad
The
of
Cher.
India. Cher, okay, Madonna. Which there's probably better examples than Sinbad, I reckon.
Yeah.
for relevance. So this is what 6 or 7 movies we've dipped down into the well of Indian cinema. So this is the cop movie, and we haven't been here for about a half a month. Starting off the new year with some spicy curry, or not. Josh, what do you think of this movie?
Well, I'm not saying that it was a terrible film. Certainly, American cinema is putting out a lot worse right now. But I think of all the films that we've watched from India so far, this one's probably the one that I enjoyed the least. It had a pretty slow build-up, and the hero of the story, Dilly, is someone that I don't know. I had a hard time really getting into him, and he had some good fight scenes and stuff, but he just seems like he's a regular guy. And I guess the only thing that gets him through to the end is his desire to be reunited with his daughter. So I don't know. It seems tame by comparison to the other ones. You know, we have in Go Agan, we've got an Indian guy passing himself off as a Russian dude. In Brahmastra, they're tapping into the powers of the supernatural beings of India. In RRR, we've got these guys that are leading the rebellion against the British. Anhadhun is a guy who's not blind pretending to be blind, who gets made blind and still comes out on top of the whole thing. All of these movies have, I don't know, more interesting character dynamics than the central character in this. I like the Gatling gun scene, but we saw Jesse the Body Ventura do it a little bit better. So
Old Painless.
Nope. No one did it better than that dude. That is going down as the best Gatling gun scene, because he hit that button and everything's in slow-mo. Boom, boom. And you're just like, oh shit, he's gonna let go. He hits the button, it spins around, and then he stops and went, why isn't it shooting? And the guy goes, hold on. He grabbed the manual and he fucking looked at it. He goes, oh, and he clicked the button, and then boom, it just mowed everyone. Dude, Fuzzy was on his feet laughing, dude. I was like, yes, dude. Fuck yeah. I mean, that. Go.
That's true. Because when Ventura lit up the bushes, he didn't. I mean, he made the predator bleed, but we didn't see the shot connect, and we just got to see a little bit of the phosphorescent blood on the trees behind.
No. That was his buddy that fired it off. When Jesse was using it, he was using it on the Sandinistas there in the jungle and blowing the hell out of the.
Okay, yeah. You're right.
And then they mowed the fucking jungle down. There was nothing left in front of them, and they still survived. That's one of the best scenes.
And
they only winged him.
Right.
And he was pissed after that. He was like, oh.
And let us not forget, gentlemen, the greatest minigun, Gatling gun scene in all of cinema history in Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Amazing.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say. Amazing.
But don't forget Arnold. T2 and
Yeah,
T2, just him, just
Terminator
fucking.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He made
Kill
Arnold
anyone.
made it look like, Arnold made it look like it was like an Uzi. You know what I mean? Like the way he's holding that thing, he just goes like this. And I remember watching that as a kid, going like, "Oh, I could probably pick that minigun up and fucking, just let it
He's a friggin'
go."
robot.
And now I'm like, and as an adult, you're like, throw my back out.
Anyway.
But you're forgetting about the scene that happened in the greatest fight scene in the whole movie. Had nothing to do with Dilly. Had nothing to do with him. It was, what was the bad guy's name? The cokehead?
Oh.
He comes down the stairs and he
$8.
he Scarface. He just drops every last bit of coke in his hand. He's like, I'm dying right now. Fuck it. And just smeared it all in his face. He's ready to go like this, and he's kung fuing him. But then the people who don't know kung fu are hitting him in the head. But it was almost comedic. I was like, oh, I literally cut that scene up and sent it to my stunt double buddies, and I was like, learn this shit. I was like, this is so good. I was like, I haven't seen this since like Jackie Chan. Like, you know what I mean? Like where you're just like, you think the guy's about to win, but then one of them gets him, with this weird hit, and then freaking, they're going at it. Like I was like, bravo. I was like, I agree with you, dude. I don't think the movie was like, this was to me like Fast and Furious of there. You know what I mean? Where the plot is this thin. It's razor thin, but it's just there so that we could watch this guy driving a Mack truck. You know what I mean? Like even down to the booby traps, I was laughing my ass off because like when he goes and he hits the tripwire, right? I'm thinking, oh shit, there's bombs, right? Like, it's gonna blow up. Nope, bamboo sticks. Whack, 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 whack. I was like, oh, that's the last thing I thought was gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like,
Bamboo's pretty brutal.
Dude, they were getting knocked in the fucking face with that shit.
Pit master right
Bamboo's brutal.
I was like, dude, and then like the part that killed, like, and then I clipped another part and I sent it to my buddy too, was the part where I've said it before. I think I've said it in other ones, but one of my writing buddies, he hates the MacGuffin. He hates it. Like he hates it in every movie. It drives him nuts. You know what I mean?
Even
and
Pulp
the
Fiction?
MacGuffin is, oh yeah, he hates it. So every time we would write together, I would add in a scene where someone has a necklace. Like there's an important necklace. And then I'd just get this long ass email of like a monologue of fuck you, I'm not putting a fucking necklace in the goddamn, and I'm joking, like it's all a joke, but I just love doing it. So when I saw that scene with the earrings, I literally clipped that scene where he's like screaming to him. He's like, they broke her earrings. You have to wake up. And his eye went. Like, yeah, and that was like the thing. That was like his spinach. You know what I mean?
Open sesame.
Popped up and started beating the shit out of everybody. I was like, yes.
Well, that scene wouldn't have worked either if they would have unhandcuffed him early, because he just goes bink, 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 bink.
And the first two punches were awesome. They went bam, and the guy could flip. But then the other ones were like you said. It's like he tapped him in the. He did the the Spock like finger death punch with the fucking. He's like, bap, and then went, oh shit, and they fell down. I was like I didn't think it was that like amazing movie again, but it was fun. Like I was like Did you see that movie with Mark Wahlberg, the 8 Mile 88 or something like that? It was with it. It's on Netflix, dude. Watch it one day. It's almost the exact same story. This movie felt like the director or who wrote it watched Assault on Precinct 13, the Mile 88.
That's what I was getting.
Movie.
I was getting Assault on Precinct 13, but in a moving vehicle.
And that's the part I was like, the Assault on Precinct 13 scenes were great. Like I was just like, oh my god, like even the fat little dude that was like, I'm a cop, and he fucking put on the thing, and he was gonna let Lee think that he drops the keys when they're just like, give me the keys, fat boy, and he fucking picks up the keys, and he fucking picked up the thing where, bah, and just killed the motherfucker. Yes, dude, I'm telling you, this is the one movie out of all of them that we watched. Like RRR, like you said, I think it's just an all-around dope movie. It's fun. It's something you don't expect it to be. The Adadon is still my fucking favorite. That's still the best to me because that's the closest thing to Pulp Fiction they got. But this one was like this would be a popcorn movie. I would go to the movies to this one, just sit down, get my popcorn, and be like, all right, a bunch of people are going to get their asses kicked. And, hopefully at the end, is there a sequel to this? Because they left it wide the fuck open.
This is the beginning.
This is Lid's entry.
Vikram is the sequel to this. That's the one that we were going to watch, Vikram. But then he said that somebody told him that this was the prequel to
it could
the
be
beginning of it.
that things are going to get more entertaining and more refined as we go.
I'm in.
Sometimes,
but I've seen on YouTube it's like got KAITHI 2 previews. So did it skip? I don't know if we were misinformed about the Vikram link. People watching, let us know below.
We weren't because I looked up and it says that this is like the beginning of it. So one of the characters continues on in Vikram, or one of the one of the police officers continues on into the Vikram.
Didn't they all die? Like there was one guy that. Oh no, they didn't.
No,
die.
they all lived.
That's right. But even that Departed feel to it. I love that part where he threw the phone out. Do you know what I mean? And then he was trying to pretend he was take my gun. And the thing that kept making me laugh, because again, we're in America, everyone's got a fucking gun. The way they would look at guns was if it was a thing they've never seen before, because they all don't have guns. It didn't, you know what I mean? It didn't click in my head till halfway through the movie when they see the Gatling gun, and I'm like, oh fuck, dude, they don't have guns over there, huh? That's why they have so many bullets, and okay, I get it, dude. I'm down. It made me appreciate it more. I was like, that's why I love kicking that.
It's this how all all the best snippets of certain movies. You had the Gatling gun where we just pulled 3 or 4 movies out. You had the Assault on Precinct 13. You had a little bit of Die Hard kind of feel to it. You had the Scarface. It seemed like it had a lot of great elements out of our movies here that we see that got kind of whooshed together into one big one. Yeah, you're right. The story is a basic story. It's just a dad trying to get to his kid. That's
even the drug, the whole drug thing, the fucking, they got pounds of all this drugs. I swore he said he hid it somewhere else, but I guess it was there at the police station, right?
Yeah, so it was underground because it was built by the British when the British used to own India. So that's why the building was also tougher to assault, because the British built it to withstand wartime and stuff like that. So it had an underground vault area.
Uprisings.
Where all the stuff was stored down there.
They learned their lesson from RRR. I got you, dude. You know what I mean? They didn't want him coming in there with all them tigers and shit, fucking shit up. They had to lock it down there. So I'm with them. I think that's smart. I've done the same thing. But
so apparently,
is the next
big
one
brother's
the
big bad, right? The big brother is the big bad, and he's the one that got caught and locked up accidentally. So we just had little brother out trying to flex, and he wasn't
he's
calling dumb shots.
Dude,
he's my favorite villain.
He got beat up by 5 engineering students.
That's what I'm saying. That was why it was so awesome, because he was a badass and he was doing the kung fu, but then the engineering student picked up the chair, was bah! He fell to the floor. I was like, oh, this is good, dude. I love it, dude.
5 against 1.
Yeah,
mentality.
Yeah.
I just the only one of my things I just Jesus Christ, dude, really, dude, it was I got the whole point of how they hooked him with the one engineer and they slit his throat. He's like, "Don't fucking do it. Sit there, just do it." You know, and he slits his throat, and the girl starts crying, and she's all like, "It was like the mom or the wife or whatever." I thought that was way overplayed, like down to like they were like, you know, they're getting ready to get out. Like hours have passed. You know what I mean? Like I get it, you're upset, dude, but when you're leaving, leave the fucker. Get the hell out of there, dude. Like save your life and shit like that. Like don't say.
Oh, she wanted to grab the dead body behind.
Yeah, and then and even when fucking our hero, when he got stabbed in the back, right before they break the earrings or whatever, when they're getting out of the truck and he's trying to tell him like, "Hey, dude, you know, like that's like made me jump." I didn't see that coming, dude. And they tell you it's coming. You know what I mean? The guy on the phone's telling him to kill him, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Fucking all of a sudden, I'm like, when he got stabbed, I went, what? I got all like, I got concerned and shit. I was like, well, what? I paused it to see how much more of the movie we had left. I was like, how are they gonna kill the fuck? How are they gonna kill him? Like they shanked his ass. They prison did him in, dude. Like fucking like that, dude. You know what I mean? Like that was American Me style.
Funny you
dude.
say
Like,
that. You say that consistently with pausing it to see how much is left, because I do that a lot, and I find my kids starting to do it now too. We were watching The Last of Us today, and you know, Miles was like, "I got homework to do. Pause it real quick so I can see how much is left." So, all right, I can watch it for 8 minutes and 32 seconds more. So it was you know, it worked. It works. It works as a watching movie device. You know where you can't do it? Disney just pauses. The Disney streaming, it doesn't tell you where you're at in it. So when I was trying to when we were watching Willow, and I was trying to be like, "Oh my God, how much more of this do I have to bear?"
Hey, Willow counts as like 10 sand and swords things. I watched the whole fucking thing, okay, dude. I watched all of it from beginning to end. All right, dude. So I deserve brownie points for that shit.
It's because it had brownies in it.
No, it didn't. They lied to me. It was for 2 seconds. I'll take that episode away. Fuck it, dude. Like, you know that. We're not here to talk about that.
Yeah, save
we're
that.
Not here. Yeah, we're talking about something good.
traumatized
We're talking about
us.
something good. We're talking about something good here. You know, I mean, not.
What about the guy that informant was in the back of the truck? When did he become such a sharpshooter with a rock?
Dude,
Right?
yes.
Like,
Oh,
yeah.
with a rock.
He was like Tom
Those
Brady in the Super Bowl.
All right.
That's what I'm saying.
David and
That dude,
Goliath
he was
there,
beating
dude,
that one dude's ass, and that big boulder just goes, and it hit him. I was like, how did they visually do that, dude? Like, he hit his ass with the
He
rock.
was
I was
like
like,
a rock specialist
oh,
because he
fuck.
picks up the rock first, and he's like, "Well, let's kill him with the rock." They're like, "Calm down.
I know everyone's got
And then
machetes
later on,
and
he
shit.
gets nailed in the head with a rock, and it pans back, and you see him, and you're like, "It's that fucker with the rock again." What's his deal?
But that's what I was saying about the guns. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's hitting him with rocks. Like, in an American movie, they'd be firing. You know, he's flipping and doing that
American
shit.
movie,
He's got a
there'd be
rock.
outrage, and they try to outlaw rocks.
Right. I mean, that guy was he was like a sniper with that thing. Like, he nailed every rock he threw. He hit him
In the head. Like, it's not like he grazed him or hit him in the shoulder. Only headshots.
Williams, like,
Yeah.
dodging to the rocks.
And he got hit, dude. Like, again, I watched that. Like, I saw that shit. His cheek did this. You can't digitally do that. Like, you can't. Like, I can't even do it with my hand. Like, it was the hit. Like, I was like, oh, he got fucked up for real, man. Bravo, dude. I was like, man.
Crazy times. All right, so it had its plot holes, you know, like I want to know where did Dilly?
Shut up, Doug. Dilly.
I mean, what's going on in Indian prisons where Dilly just becomes like this Indian monk with like the kung fu of 1,000 nations, like
Okay.
after having sat in the cave.
Is that why he kept rubbing that shit on his head? Like, I just assumed it was a religious thing because, you know, after he prayed, he did it again. But I was like, I remember when they got it, broke him out. I was like, what's wrong with his face?
Well, I
dude? Like,
think
what happened to his head, dude?
This is it's not Hindi, right? It's Tamil. It's Tamil. So the Tamil Indians, I believe, are mostly Muslim, if I'm not mistaken. So that might be some kind of a Islam thing. I mean,
I don't know. I think he was praying at one point in the movie to the Hindu gods.
To Shiva.
Yeah.
And that was the thing they mentioned. They mentioned some kind of backstory at one point about him, how he like.
Yeah, he was going on a religious pilgrimage.
And that's why he got early release.
And that's why he was able to grow a beard, because they were talking about like guys in prison can't have beards.
They're not allowed to have
but
beards.
he got an exception because of religious pilgrimage or something like that.
I didn't think it was just prison. I thought there wasn't people with beards at all.
I didn't catch that part, but yeah, okay. See, because that was the only part that was, and again, that wasn't like destroying the movie for me. I just thought it was kind of like, what?
They called that lady on the phone the parole officer to give him permission to go on a trip, because he was only supposed to go get his daughter or see his daughter or something like that. And so then they explain a little bit about him in prison and why he was able to be released and certain things about him. So like,
it must be nice in their culture. Like, let's say Josh is on death row and they want to let him go see him and Liz's long lost daughter or something, and he does a heroic act, and he's in handcuffs the whole time, and he happens to, they give him that thing and he lets him go do a heroic act. Doesn't matter how heroic he was in the act of doing the act, nobody's going to be like, all right, Josh, it's bygones now. let's take the cuffs off and you can be a cop with us. Like,
but they should. That's the point of it. They should. I've always said that, man. I said if you did something bad and then you do something extra good, like, dude, put a prisoner in war. Hey, dude, fight for your freedom, man. If you can survive at the end of that fucking thing, dude, we'll talk about letting you go free and shit like that.
Well, I think if memory serves, that he had finished serving out his sentence.
Yeah.
I think he was getting ready to get set free, and there was some kind of an issue where he got picked up for, I don't know, was it drunken disorderly or something? It was something minor. That's why he was sitting in the cop car.
He got picked up for having a beard.
Was that what it is?
Yeah, they were like, they stopped him for having a beard. The cops were talking about him having a beard. So I don't know what the deal with the beard is. Once again, people, like, let us know below. Is there some kind of an issue with having beards in India, or do we all got it totally wrong?
Help us out, because I would be fucked. I'd be fucked.
Well, it can't be, because in RRR, Bean had a delicious beard going on. Yeah,
but that was like revolutionary times. That wasn't modern.
True.
Who knows? I don't know.
Well, speaking of
the other thing I thought was funny was that the main reason why they wanted him is because he drove a truck. You're like, Jesus Christ.
What happened?
Thanks, honey. Sorry, my wife is in a zone right now.
So speaking of Indian cultural issues, one of the things that struck me about this movie were a couple of things that I've kind of noticed in previous movies that we've watched, but one of the things is the interchange of English and whatever the native language is that they're speaking. They go back and forth, and often it's like hybridized so that they're speaking both in the same sentence. So that when you're watching the film and you got the subtitles going, like half the time you actually don't need the subtitles.
Yeah, with the modern ones for sure. I think that's just leftovers from being a colony.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, there was one though that I laughed at because it said, we have to get going quickly, and he's like, oh, something. He's like, fast. And I was like, oh, fast is how you say quickly in India, huh? But then there was another thing is that I noticed that, and maybe this is just with the modern ones too, is that they say like bro and sir a lot. I mean,
so much so that I thought one of the guys' names was Sir. I swear, I was like, "Oh, which one's Sir, dude? Like who? Because even the woman called him Sir, and fucking the engineer students called him Sir. I was like, oh, the guy in charge is named Sir. Like, cool.
I think they're hyper polite, but also hyper intimate, because then they're also calling everybody bro. you know, hey bro, and I'm like, that's a weird interplay between being very respectful and calling people sir, and then being very familiar and calling them bro, you know.
Well, maybe
the
it's
same
just
person.
maybe it's just something different though over there, because you know over here we call, you know, fuzzy, hey bro, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, so it's.
But
like,
I would never say, hey,
But
We also have a lot of words that mean the same thing in English.
But even here, it's different. It's how you say bro. You're like bro, and that means like you fucked up. But then it's like bro, that means
Yeah.
it's good. You know what I mean? It's just the way you say it and stuff. So maybe it's the same way there too. But I mean, like even I agree with you like that. Like when it came to some certain like dialogue between the guys, I was like, what the fuck did they just say, dude? Like, and I'm like, you know what? Who cares, dude? Like sometimes I love watching foreign movies sometimes without the subtitles and just let it flow, because sometimes you'll get it, like the rhythm of their dialogue. It sounds good. You're just like The Raid is one of my favorite like foreign films ever. And there's this part where he's talking to everyone in the building, and the way he says it is he's like every floor we're gonna kill the man, but in their tongue it's like ba-da-dong, 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 ba-da-dong. And I was like, oh, that's creepy as fuck, dude. Like shit, dude. That scares me. So this one, a couple of times I just ignored it and I just kept watching it, and they sounded like a rap song. They were just flowing, dude. I was like, okay, I'm gonna let it slide, dude. It just doesn't translate well. That's all.
And there's one other piece, just real quick. One of the things that I've also noticed, and this has been in all of the films, I don't know if they nod yes and no. I notice a lot of head bobbling. You know, when they're talking and somebody wants to acknowledge, like in the affirmative, like yes, that's the case, they'll do this like thing, like where their head bobbles, like kind of back and forth. I first noticed it in RRR because Beam did it a couple of times when he was talking to the lady, like, oh, do you want to come to my party? And he's like, ugh. And I thought he was just like freaking out, but I was saying yes, you know. And so I noticed that a lot in this film too. So if folks can kind of explain some of those nuances, we'd appreciate it, because it seems odd to us, or at least to me.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, you know, like even American Sign Language is its own thing. They have different sign languages around too. So, you know, who knows? All right, let's get into this. Radioactive Curry. How spicy is the movie, Fuzzy?
I'm giving it a 7. I'm giving it a 7 just because of the fun of it. Like, again, plot super thin, but I had fun. You know what I mean? I went with it. It was a shoot 'em up, bang bang movie without any guns. It was ass kicking all over the place until you got the final Gatling gun. Best coke scene I've ever seen in a movie ever. In talking American, whatever, that's the best coke scene I ever seen. Because he had the look of just, I don't care, I'm gonna die, but we're gonna eat this shit and we're gonna go for it. So I'm giving it a 7, dude.
All right, Liz.
Yeah, I like this one too. I mean, it was a little bit slow for me and certain parts here and there, you know what I mean? It took me a little bit to like get into it. And sometimes I think it's like when we choose to watch the movies. Like if you're not in the right mindset of a certain movie, you're just like, meh. But then we paused it, we went up for dinner, we came back down and started watching it again, and I was a little more into it, and I enjoyed it. I'd still give it a 7. It has like good action. It's a lot of fun that way. Like Fuzzy said before with popcorn movie. I mean, I don't eat the popcorn, but like I could see sitting down and like, okay, watching it, and it reminds me of an Indian like Michael Bay movie sometimes, where like there's just something that just happens. Like you got all the guns going, you got all the traps going, you got some fun fight scenes. You got, you know, some classic things that we see in American cinema during those like kind of gangster shoot 'em up kind of movies. So yeah, it's not my favorite that I've seen so far, but I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. I think it's a strong 7. I think there are parts of it that were a little confusing, and I think it really doesn't ramp up and get interesting until they trigger the bamboo traps in the truck, and then the fight scene comes. Like before that, it's a lot of story and narrative and build up, and you kind of have to get through that. But it is a fun movie to watch, you know, especially as you get through the end, and the payoff is good that he, you know, gets together with his daughter. So it's a 7.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you guys.
I teared. I'm not gonna lie. I teared.
I even told Josh, I said Fuzzy's crying right now. I guarantee it. Guarantee it.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at a 7. You know, there were some plot holes, but I think that it did what it needed to do to set up some of the action scenes, and the action scenes were well choreographed and well done. So I felt it was solid. You know, Dilly. Every time I heard them call him Dilly, I was thinking of that Budweiser commercial where they're like Dilly Dilly, and then the Budweisers come. So I'm not sure about Dilly as a thing. So once again, folks, comment below what's the next movie you want us to watch. We've already got lined up for next time. It's going to be Vikram, so we'll get Vikram going for next time, and hopefully Vikram's dubbed, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Dope.
It's more. I think it's on like Netflix, so it's more streamlined, like Brahmastra and RRR was. So it's on like a regular streaming service.
Okay, so we're not picking one of the 7 YouTube versions.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Next week, Vikram. Comment below on this. Let us know what you want us to watch next. There's quite a bit of comments, so we've got plenty of stuff to pick from. But since we did this one, we're going to do Vikram. Thanks for watching Radioactive Curry. Fuzzy, take us out.
Love, peace, and chicken grease, ladies and gentlemen. Woo!
Yours is a generous king.
Dilly dilly, your majesty.